going to talk about the professional journey stages. And we're going to talk about the professional journey stages because transforming burnout into renewal acknowledges that professionals progress through distinct stages in their relationship with burnout and renewal. We just heard that in our last conversation. Everyone on here is in a different stage or phase of their professional journey. And the Ignite framework is the set of elements that you can carry with you no matter what professional stage you are navigating in your career. The stages are also not linear, and you may find yourself moving back and forth through them over the course of your career. For example, you might find yourself in recalibration after years of integration or revisiting emergence after a promotion or a major role shift. And this is natural. And what matters most is that we're meeting ourselves with awareness, with care, and compassion wherever you are, while embracing both your strengths and your struggles. And each stage requires tailored interventions. Early in your journey or in a new role, not all stress is burnout. Professional stress can be activating. It can stretch you. It can grow your capacity. Not all stress is harmful, but unexamined stress becomes unsustainable. And therefore, it's critical for us to tap in and tune into ourselves, to identify early warning signals, to avoid moving into depletion whenever possible. And again, there's no disdain for self in the depletion stage. The focus here is intervening sooner than later. And I want to ground this in something personal. There was a season in my own professional journey where I was firmly in depletion, and it didn't happen overnight. What I eventually had to identify was that certain roles I was holding and certain relational dynamics that I was navigating were no longer aligned with my core values. But instead of naming that early, I tried to force it. I tried to push it down. I tried to avoid it. And that tension created incredible stress. It showed up as strain in my professional relationships, strain in my personal relationships, disconnection from my focus, physical exhaustion, emotional numbness, and I was simultaneously overfunctioning and shutting down. And what I now understand is that my burnout signals were intelligent. They were responding to sustained misalignment. It took me weeks to fully identify what was happening. I tried therapy and it failed miserably because I couldn't find the right fit. But what did hold me up? The support system that I had been nurturing for years. The very community I had invested in, they held my hand. They reflected truth back to me. They helped me focus on what mattered most. And this is dialogic engagement embodied. Recalibration required me to let go of some things and some people, the roles that no longer fit, the patterns that no longer served, identities that I had outgrown. It required reconnecting with my core values, not the ones that looked impressive, but the ones that felt true. And I was able to reshape how I wanted to journey forward. And from there, I began to move into integration. I could feel myself realigning. My boundaries were more clear. My purpose felt grounded. I wasn't just working hard, I was working aligned. And I began to experience a renewed sense of meaning in my work. And here's where Ignite being interconnected matters. That integration led to a new opportunity I shared with y'all in the chat, by leading an executive leadership team toward a shared vision. And that put me back into emergence in some ways because it's a new terrain, it's a new learning curve, but I'm also in regeneration because I now have expanded my opportunity to influence system change for children and families navigating complex systems. I could have never done that had I stayed in depletion. So I'm both emerging, I'm regenerating, I'm leading, I'm learning, I'm expanding, and I'm sustaining. And what made the difference was not that burnout just disappeared overnight. It was that I identified it. I named the misalignment. I stopped overriding signals, allowed myself to recalibrate before I collapsed. Identify didn't make the work easier, y'all. It made me clear and it made me decisive. It helped me reclaim my power. And with that, I have been able to fully embrace the regeneration stage, seek out opportunities to support others rather than shy away from them. Identify is not abstract, it's pretty personal. It was a moment I stopped performing and I started paying attention. It was the moment I moved from autopilot to awareness. And now you all are going to be able to practice that for yourselves. I want to bring in Lauren to move us through our identify activity